Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech with Ankush again. So currently I'm covering this course that is Identity and Access Administrator Associate. In the last video, I had covered this module that is Manage User Authentication. Today I will cover this module that is Plan, Implement and Administer Conditional Access. So let me start. So what are security defaults? Microsoft Entra ID security defaults are pre-configured security settings provided by Microsoft. Means these security default we can say it's like the pre-configured security settings. It is provided by Microsoft and they help protect organizations from password attacks, phishing attacks, replay attacks, legacy authentication attacks without requiring advanced security knowledge. Like if we enable these security defaults, it will protect our organization from these attacks. What is the main goal? Microsoft created security defaults so organizations can quickly improve security, protect user accounts, enable MFA easily, especially for small organizations, beginners, free Entra tenants. Simple example, instead of manually configuring MFA policies, admin protection, legacy authentication blocking, Microsoft automatically applies security default, secure recommend settings. Simple analogy, think of security default like factory installed security system in a new car. Even before customization, basic protection already exists. What are security defaults automatically enabled? Security defaults apply several protections automatically. Require MFA registration for all users. Every user must register MFA using Microsoft Authenticator app. Important, there is no grace period. Users are prompted immediately after sign-in. Number matching protection. Microsoft now uses number matching MFA. Like whenever we log in on the any cloud app, Microsoft Cloud app, it asks for Microsoft Authentication. And there on the Microsoft Authentication Authenticator app, which we have installed on our phone, we have to tap the number that displays on the screen. And what it prevents? MFA fatigue attacks, accidental approvals. Then protect administrator accounts. Admin have powerful permissions, so security default forces MFA every login for administrators. Protected admin roles included example for global admin, security admin, exchange admin, user admin, SharePoint admin, conditional access administrator, and many others. Why admin accounts need extra protection? If hacker compromise admin account, entire environment could be controlled. Third, protect all users, not only admin, regular users also protected. Why this matter? Hackers often target normal employees first, then steal information, move laterally, escalate privileges. Security default require extra authentication, like after MFA registration, user may be prompted for MFA when needed. Example, MFA might trigger if suspicious login, new location, sensitive application access. Then block legacy authentication, one of the most important protections. Like what is legacy authentication? Like older authentication method don't support MFA. Example, IAM, POP3, etc. Why legacy authentication is dangerous? Even if MFA is enabled, attackers may bypass MFA using older protocols. Example, attacker uses IMAP login with stolen passwords. If legacy enabled, MFA may not trigger. Then security defaults automatically block legacy authentication protocols, including Exchange, Active Sync, Basic Authentication. Availability. Security defaults are free for all Microsoft Entra tenants. And important, like this is new tenant created after October 2019 may already have security default enabled automatically. How to enable Microsoft security default? Like in the Microsoft Entra admin center, we have to go to Entra ID, overview, properties. Under properties, we will see Microsoft security defaults. And there we can turn the security default on. And whenever we create any account, Microsoft like Entra account, Azure portal, then this security default is enabled by itself. And required role, you need at least conditional access administrator to manage security role. So this is required. Who should use security defaults? Best for small organizations, beginners, organization using free Entra license, organization without conditional access setup. Who should not use security defaults? Not ideal for organization already using conditional access, organization with advanced custom security requirements, organization with Microsoft Entra premium policies. Why? Security defaults are simple, all or nothing security settings. Conditional access offers more flexibility and customization. Example of security default protection, for like if there is a password spray attack, protection is MFA. Phishing, MFA. Stolen password, MFA. Legacy protocol attack, it will get blocked. Admin compromise admin, then MFA. Typical user experience, like user sign in on any website, then Microsoft require MFA. Future logins protected because MFA was already done. Biggest benefits: quick security improvement, no advanced setup needed, protect admin and users, block insecure protocols, free to use. Important limitation: security default cannot create custom rules. Example, require MFA only outside office. That requires conditional access policy. Means if we are using security default, we can't able to create our custom rules. So that is the limitation. Real life analogy, think of security defaults like automatic home security system. When you move into new house, doors auto locked, alarms enabled, basic protection configured. Simple flow, we have to enable MFA, user register MFA, legacy authentication blocked, admin protected with MFA, safer organizations automatically. What is conditional access? So before that, let me show you how we can enable and disable security default. Now, when we go to this Microsoft Entra Admin Center, I go to Overview. Here, when we go to Properties, there is security default. So currently, security defaults are enabled. So if I have to turn it off, I can simply click on here. So it will, yeah. So currently, your organization is currently using security defaults. So Microsoft recommends whenever we create conditional access policies, we have to turn off these security defaults. Otherwise, there will be a conflict. So with the conditional access policies and these security defaults. So here, by changing the setting to disable and enable, we can change the settings for this security default. Like we can enable and disable it. Now, what is conditional access? Microsoft Entra ID conditional access is a smart security system that decides who can access resources from where, using which device, under what conditions, before allowing login. Main goal: in modern cloud environments, user work from anywhere, different devices are used, apps are cloud based. So checking only username and password is not enough. Conditional access adds intelligence security checks. Like with the help of conditional access policies, we apply maximum protection. So example, if user sign in from unknown country, then require MFA, or if device is not trusted, then block access. Simple analogy, think of conditional access like smart security guard at office entrance. The guard checks who you are, your location, your ID card, your device before allowing entry. How conditional access work? Conditional access uses if and then logic. If user equal to administrator, then require MFA. So now let me show you what is if and then logic for conditional access. So if I go to here, conditional access, and this is the overview of the conditional access page. Like currently I didn't configure any policy. If I have configured the policy, everything will be show here. Like it will show me agent identities, users, everything will be come up here. Now what is if and then logic for conditional access? So whenever we create the conditional access policy, here under assignments, means if this is the condition, then after access control, then thing work. Means if and then logic. Like for if logic comes under assignments, like if these are the user and agents, like these are the conditions, I will discuss this later. Then what we have to do, like we have to grant access, or what we have to do, like under access controls. So then logic starts from access controls. If logic start from assignment till conditions, then logic start from access control till session. Now, why organizations need conditional access? Old security approach protect only office network. Modern approach protect users, apps, and data everywhere. Conditional access checks signals. Like Microsoft analyzes signals like user identity, like who is signing in, device, trusted or untrusted, location like country or IP, application, which app is accessed, risk level, suspicious sign in, client app, browser, mobile app. Now, conditional access components. Conditional access policies have two major parts, which I have discussed now. Like assignments. If assignments define when policies applies. Assignment examples, users and group, which user are affected, like all user, admin, HR group, etc. Here, like here, which users are affected here. Like I can select none or I can exclude users if I click on all users. So here we can see, like, if I am creating a conditional access policy and if I have selected all users, means this conditional policy will work on all users. So we never do that. We always create a group first where we apply the policy, we test the policy, everything is fine. Then we apply the policy to other users. Here we can see if I have selected all users, it says don't lock yourself out. This policy will affect all of your users. We recommend applying a policy to a small set of users. First is to verify it behaves as expected. Then cloud apps. Which applications affected? Like Microsoft 365, Azure, SharePoint. So means what does this policy apply to, like on which user we are applying the policy, or if I have to select particular user, I can select it from here. I can select all users and group, or I can select groups, or I can select directory roles. Like if I have to apply this conditional access policy for directory roles like administrators, help desk administrator, application administrator, anything. So I can also apply this policy on the directory roles, or guest and external users. Like if I can apply this policy to B2B collaboration guest users, B2B direct connect users. So here I can select guest or external users. Then target resource here. Like control access based on all or specific apps, agents, internet resources, actions, or authentication context. Means select what this policy applies to me, means where this policy applies. Like all internet resources, like with global access, or we can say all agent resources, or here like apply this policy to all agent identity and agent blueprint token request. Then all resources, like these are under cloud apps, or I can select the resource here, like here, like these are the enterprise application, like I can apply this policy to this Office 365, any other like Azure portal, anywhere on the cloud apps. And then select resources based on attributes. Like I can also add the custom security attributes on this policy. So how we can add? Simply I click on here. So first I have to configure this. There are no custom security attributes available to filter on. You will need to configure some attributes to employ this filter. First, like I have to configure this security attribute, then it will work. Like here, I can just select like risk level, and I will check like the risk level equal to low or medium. Then here I can pick the value. The user can simply log in on the device or on the app, or he has to only do MFA and he can able to log in. So here we can apply the set the policy on target resources. Then conditions like device type, location, risk level, operating system, etc. Means here these are the two more settings under if condition, like under network. Here I have to configure it. Like here the policy will apply on like if the user log in from any location or any network, then the policy will work. Or the policy will work on only all trusted network and locations. Or we can select networks and location. Like the currently this is only the network available. I can also add the here, like if I have different office location, and if I have to add the networks, I can manually add the networks under network options under conditional access. Then conditions. Now here we can control access based on signals such as risk, device and location. Like if there is here, if I select it, if I see there is a risk on the user account, then this policy will work. Or if there is a sign in risk, then the policy will apply. Then insider risk, like if insider risk accesses the user risky data related activity in Microsoft purview inside risk management. Like if user is doing something suspicious, then this we can also configure this thing. Then device platforms, like if a user login from Mac and Linux, then this policy will apply. And this location, actually, if we can configure it, but this location, uh, let me just see. Yeah, location, actually this type of like this location, it is actually covered in this network part here. Then client apps, like control user access to target specific client application not using modern authentication. Select the client app this policy will apply to. Like if user is using browser, then this policy will apply. Or if he is using mobile app, then this will apply. So we can select the apps. Then filter for devices, like we can also configure it, like include filter devices in policy or exclude. So here let me select and let me just select like our like user, they are using only like operating system. Like we can this policy will work if user is using Windows, we can say operating system. So here we can also apply the filter. Then authentication flow, like how the policy will work, like it will use device code flow or authentication transfer, like control how your organization uses certain authentication and authorization protocols and grants. Then last is here access controls. Then what should happen if condition matches? Like if we configure the previous conditions under under if, then what will happen regarding this policy? Like access control examples, like it will require MFA for that user, require compliant device, require hybrid joint device, or block access. If user login from outside country, then require, or outside office, then require MFA. Means let us assume we have configured the policy, and here we have selected the, like let us assume I have selected one user. Let me select any user. Let me selected this test user. Now target resource, I have let me select all cloud apps. Then network, let me select all any network. Conditions, okay, condition I'm just leaving it as it is. Now grant, here these are the access controls. Like let us assume this user is login on all the cloud apps, and let me just configure this user risk. Let me see the risk is high on this user. So under grant access, what I will do, I will simply enable this block access for this user. Means this user can't able to log in on any cloud app. And let me discuss, like if let us assume the risk is low with the user. So what I have, like there are other features which I can do that for that user, like it will require MFA for that user. Or like let us assume if user is logged from different location, not from the office, then we can also configure one policy, means user have to do MFA. Once the MFA is done, user can able to access the application. Then required authentication strength, means here we can apply like authentication methods, means like password MFA, phishing resistant MFA, we can enable the authentication strength. Means user must be use specific authentication methods based on the authentication strength policies applied. Means we can increase the authentication strength. Here, like in MFA, user have to only do the tap on the authentication, authenticate Microsoft Authenticator app. But if he wants to increase the strength, we can select this option. Then require device to be marked as compliant. We can also enable this, or we can require Microsoft Entra hybrid joint device. We can check this, or required approval client app. Like we can uh, check this option. Required app protection policy. We can use this one, or we require a user have to change the password. He can do that, or require risk remediation. Or here, like for multiple controls, like here we can require all the selected networks, or require one of the selected controls. So we can select this option. Then sessions. Here we use app enforced restrictions, means app enforced restrictions might require additional admin configurations within the cloud apps. The restrictions will only take effect for new sessions. Means this controls only with supported apps like currently Office 365, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online are the only cloud app that support enforced restrictions. Means we can use enforced restrictions like under session control access based on session controls to enable limited experience with specific cloud applications. Like we can control the session. Then we can use conditional access app policy. Means conditional policy need to be configured in cloud app security portal. Means here we have to enable the policy under Microsoft Defender. So then we can use this conditional access app policy. Like custom policies need to be configured in cloud app security portal. This works instantly for featured app and can be onboarded for any app. Like we can configure this policy under Defender, like Defender, Microsoft Defender for security. Then sign in frequency, like how the like here, like like if the user is using one device and if he's not using that device, so how, like if the user is using that device after 30 days, then he has to do all the MFA and everything again. So this is like the sign in frequency, how the user is sign in. Like the time period for a user is asked to sign in again when attempting to access a resource. The default setting is a rolling window of 90 days. That is, user will be asked to re-authenticate on the first attempt to access a resource after being inactive on their machine for 90 days or longer. So default is 90 days. We can change it. Like we can type 5, 10, or we can select hours, anything. Then persistent browser session means we can configure it like persistent browser session allows a user to remain sign in after closing and reopening their browser window. Means if a user is doing something on the resource or any like portal, Azure portal or any DevOps portal. So here if we configure it, if the user again open that browser, like it will start from where the user by mistake closed that page. So that is the persistent browser session. Then customize continuous evaluation, like we can also do this. Like here, like we can allow access tokens to be revoked on based on critical events and policy evaluation in real time rather than relying on token expiration based on lifetime. Means here we can do the evaluation thing for the tokens. Then we can even disable it or strictly enforce location policies. Then disable resilient defaults or require token protection sign-in sessions. Means these are a number of options available in under session when we configure the conditional access policies. Then benefits of conditional access. What are the benefits? Improve productivity. User only interrupt when needed. Example, no MFA in trusted office, MFA outside office. Manage security risk, like automatically respond to risky sign-in, suspicious behavior. Then compliance and governance, like help enforce policies, track access, meet compliance rules. Then reduce cost, less need for expensive on premises security system, means it is less cost, it is less costly. Support zero trust. Conditional access is part of zero trust security. And what is zero trust? Like we have discussed before, never trust, always verify. Access token issuance, like after conditional access checks, Microsoft issues access token. An access token, we know, like it's like we can say digital pass proving user authenticated successfully, used to access apps, API resources, etc. Important concept: if no conditional access policy apply, then access token issued automatically. Example policy: if user in HR group, then require MFA for payroll app. User not in HR group, no MFA required unless another policy exists. Then common conditional access policies require MFA, like most common policy: MFA for admin, MFA outside office, MFA for sensitive app. Then block legacy authentication, like it blocks old insecure protocols like IAM, POP3, etc. Then protect risky users. Uses Microsoft identity protection, like forces password reset, require MFA, like we can configure these settings. Then require managed device, like only allow company managed device, like we can only allow the user to access any app if he is using the company device. Then require approved apps used for BYOD, bring your own device. Example, allow Outlook mobile apps but block unknown mail apps. Then block access completely, means can block specific users, block countries, block applications. Then very important warning, like blocking policies are powerful, can accidentally lock entire organization out, like we have discussed this. Emergency access accounts, like Microsoft recommends create emergency Microsoft accounts. Why? Because if policy breaks, emergency accounts still access the tenant. Report only mode before enabling policy. Test using report only mode. Like if I go to here before if I have to enable policy, I have to click on here on, or I have to click on here report only, and we can see it's asking for disable security defaults. Like if I have to enable the conditional access policy, I have to disable that security defaults option. Then what report only does? Policy like simulates behavior, does not actually block users. Like help admin see impact safely. Like we can in under report only mode, we can see what the policy is doing, but it actually do not block the users. Named location, admin can define trusted or blocked countries locations. Block sign in from countries company never uses. Important, always exclude emergency admin accounts. So let me close it. Let me go to conditional access. Here, these are the named locations. Like I can currently, let me just see. So whenever we configure the policy, we see there, we can allow the country's location. Like this is the, like name this location. I can just type like China. So yeah, so country lookup method, like determined location by IP address, or, and here I can select like here, this one. So I can simply select the countries, or I can select the IP range, or configure multiple, or like this is like the configure multiple authentication trusted IPs. So here, if I have to add the location, I can do that. Like whenever the user log in from this country, then this policy will apply. Then important, always okay, agent identities. Now Microsoft now support agent identities. AI, or we can say AI agents can also be protected by conditional access, similar to user accounts, service accounts. Best practice for create test user like test policies before applying to real users. Then start small. Apply policy to small pilot group first. Then we use user report only mode like observe behavior safely. Then expand gradually like add more users after successful testing. Like if we do the testing on small test of users, we do the testing on small set of users, then we will add other users, or we will work on like small test group, then we will add the policy to other groups. Always exclude admins initially. Why? Because if let us assume there is issue with the policy, then admins can have the access to delete the policy or edit that policy. Example test plan like user from trusted office, no MFA. So these are the examples like for the like whenever we create the policy. Like user from home, it requires the MFA. Admin login requires MFA. Unknown device blocked. Licensing requirement like on free Entra ID, no conditional access. P1 standard, and P2 we have risk-based conditional access. P2 adds advanced features. Example, risky user detection, sign-in risk policies, identify, protection, integration. Now, real life analogy. Think of conditional access like airport security. Security checks passport, boarding pass, risk level, location, bags, etc. before allowing entry. Now, simple conditional access flow like user tries accessing any application, then Microsoft checks signal. Then policy conditions evaluated, MFA block device checks applied. Like if once the policy is evaluated, then the condition applies. Then access granted or denied. Now, what is conditional access? Think of conditional access as a smart security gatekeeper for your organization, applications, and data. Instead of simply asking, do you know the password? Conditional access asks, who are you? Where are you signing from? Which device you are using? Is the sign-in risky? Which applications are you trying to access? Then it decides whether to allow access, require MFA, require a compliant device, or block the access. Real life example, imagine entering a secure office building. Security checks your badge, employee badge, your location, whether you are carrying company issued equipment, whether anything looks suspicious. Only after those checks are completed are you allowed inside. Conditional access works exactly the same way for cloud resources. Then why use conditional access? Organizations use conditional access to protect sensitive application, reduce cyber attacks, require MFA only when needed, allow secure remote work. Support zero trust security. And how conditional access works? Conditional access follows a simple rule. If condition is true, then perform action. Like if and then rule. Example, if user sign in from outside India, then require MFA. Or if device is not compliant, then block the access. So components of a conditional access policy we have already discussed is like assignments, the if part. Assignment determine when the policy applies. User and group, like what should the policy affect, like all user, HR department, groups, etc. Cloud app, like which applications are protected. Then conditions, extra checks such as location, device platform, signing, client, etc. Then controls. Then part, once condition matches, Microsoft applies controls like grant access, grant controls, like require MFA compliant device, hybrid Entra joint device, or terms of use acceptance. Or block controls like deny access completely. It depends upon us. Then session controls, control user session after login. Means if a user is working on any application, we can also control their sessions. Example, restrict, he cannot download anything, like restrict downloads, monitor activity, or use app control, etc. Creating a conditional access policy, like basic thing, like Entra, we have to go to Entra portal, then protection, conditional access, new policy, then we can configure it, then save the policy. User report mode only first, like Microsoft strongly recommends report only mode, because here we can check how the policy is working. Then policy evaluate user does not block anyone. This allows admin to test safely before enforcing. Then sign in risk policies. Microsoft tracks normal user behavior. When behavior looks suspicious, new country, anonymous IP, impossible travel, Microsoft's assigned sign-in risk policy. Means this is also a sign-in risk policy, which is a feature in the Entra portal. Example, user normally sign in from Delhi, suddenly user sign in from London. So this is impossible travel detected. Policy may require MFA or block the access. Then user risk policies. User is focused on the account itself. Example, password found on dark web, credentials lead, compromise account. Policy may require password reset or block access. And this thing I will cover more detail in the next video. User sign-in and sign-in risk policies. Important license requirement, it requires Entra P2 license. Securing MFA and password reset registration. Organization can protect MFA SSPR using conditional access. Example, policy require users to register MFA only when connected to corporate network. If outside corporate network, registration block. This prevents attacker from registering fake authentication methods. Then block access by location. Conditional access can block entire countries or regions. Example, company only operates in India and USA. Block sign-in from North Korea, Russia, etc. Creating named location, like admin creates name location, like example, office network, trusted countries, blocked countries. Then policy use those location. If sign-in from blocked countries, then block access, like under name locations. Here we can create the locations. Required compliant devices, conditional access integrates with Microsoft Intune. Microsoft Intune, it's another, we can say, app provided by Microsoft where we can manage the devices. Intune check whether a device follow company security rules. Compliant devices, device must have PIN enabled, security enabled, supported OS, not rooted or jailbroken. Example policy, if device is compliant, then allow access. If device is not compliant, then block access on that device. Why it is useful? Protect company data from personal devices, insecure devices, and compromised devices. Block access policies. The strongest control is block access. If application, we can say legacy app, then block app access. Warning, misconfigured block policy can lock everyone out, even administrator. So always we have to test the policy first. Accounts you should exclude. Microsoft recommends excluding emergency access accounts, or we can say these are known as break glass accounts. Special admin accounts used when everything else fails. Service accounts. Microsoft examples, Microsoft Entra, Connect, Sync account, automation account, background service accounts. These cannot perform MFA normally. Agent identities. AI agents registered in Microsoft Entra ID may also need exclusions if uninterrupted access is required. Then terms of use. Conditional access can require users to accept legal agreements before accessing resources. Example, before accessing SharePoint, user must accept company security policy. Only then access is granted. And benefits of terms of use. Organization can track consent, expire old agreements, require users to accept updated policies. Example, terms of use policy. If user access HR portal, then require acceptance of terms of use. Then common conditional access policies require MFA. If outside office, then require MFA. Block high risk sign-in. If sign-in risk is high, then block access. Require compliant device. If device is not compliant, then block access. Require trusted location. If outside the trusted network, require MFA. Require terms of use. If accessing sensitive app, then accept terms of use. So here we can configure this terms of use. So here I can simply click on new terms, and here I can just type terms and use, or we can just type terms and conditions, and here I can upload the image, anything. Then language, display name, and here user have to expand the terms of use, then require users to consent on every device. Then we can select, and here we can update the terms of use. And conditional access enforced with conditional access policy template. Like if I have the conditional access policy, I can apply these terms of use on that policy, or I can create this terms of use and I can apply the policy, conditional access policy, which I will create later. So here we can add the terms of use. Then under policies, like if we create new, then these are the user risk and sign-in risk. Like if we see the risk is high, we can create a policy, it will block the access. Or if we see the sign-in risk is high, it will block the access. So these are like sign-in risk or user risk. Then compliant device, everything will be, we can see there. Then this is like exam tip. Remember assignment equal to F, like user, like we have discussed, control equal to then. Then what are application controls? Application controls are security rules that control what users can do inside an application after they sign in. Think of it this way. Conditional access decides whether a user can enter the application. Application control decide what the user can do once inside the application. These are application controls. Real life analogy, imagine entering a bank. Conditional access, the security guard checks your identity, I-card, location, then allows identity. And what the application control will do, once inside the bank, you may view your account, you may transfer money, you may not enter the vault, or application control manage those actions like what you are doing inside the application. What technologies used? Microsoft uses Microsoft Defender for cloud apps together with Microsoft Entra conditional access policy. Means Microsoft Defender for cloud apps works with Microsoft Entra conditional access. Why? Because this Defender for cloud apps, it will monitor what the user is doing under the condition, any application. This feature is called conditional access app control. It uses a reverse proxy architecture to inspect and control user activity in real time. So here it is under session. I told you before, like we can configure Microsoft like Defender for cloud apps, and we can monitor what the user is doing under application. So this is conditional access, use conditional access app control. So this we can do here. Conditional access app control means Microsoft uses Microsoft Defender for cloud apps together with conditional access policy. Like if we have configured this cloud Microsoft Defender for cloud apps, then we can use that policy under conditional access. Like it uses a reverse proxy architecture to inspect and control user activity in real time. Now, how conditional access app control works, like how it works. Step 1, like user attempts to access an application, like user is trying to access any application like SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, Salesforce, etc. Then conditional access evaluate conditions. Like conditional access will evaluate like user identity, like user is using the same ID and password, doing MFA, device type, then user is login from allowed location, or what is the risk level on it. Then if condition matches, then user traffic is routed through Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. Like we will configure this policy under Microsoft Defender for cloud apps, and user traffic is routed through this Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. Then Defender monitors and control actions in real time. Like this Microsoft Defender for cloud app, it controls and monitors the user action in real time. Like it will allow download or it will block download. It will allow viewing or it will block copying. Now, what can application controls do? First, prevent data exfiltration. And what is like data exfiltration? Data exfiltration means sensitive company information leaving the organization without authorization. Means what is data exfiltration? Means very important company information, it's moving outside. That is data exfiltration without authorization. Example, employee sign in into SharePoint from personal laptop. Instead of allowing downloads, policy blocks download, copy, cut, print. Sensitive files remains protected. Then protect files during download. Sometimes organizations want users to download file but still keep them protected. So instead of blocking, Microsoft can automatically apply sensitive labels, encrypt file, restrict access. Example, employee downloads a confidential Excel file. The file remains protected even after leaving SharePoint. Then prevent upload of unlabeled file, like organizations often require documents to have proper classifications. Example, public, internal, confidential. Application controls can block uploads until classification is applied. Example, employee uploads salary data. No sensitive label attached, result upload blocked. So user must classify the document first. Then fourth, monitor user sessions. Like application control can monitor users in real time. Like which files were accessed, like what user is doing on that application, which files were downloaded, which actions were performed. This helps security team investigate suspicious behavior. Means if there is a suspicious behavior, the security team will get to know. Example, a user suddenly downloads 5,000 files from multiple departments. This unusual behavior can be detected and investigated. Then block access. Access can be blocked dynamically based on risk. Example, suspicious sign-in, untrusted device, risky access. Result, access denied. Before sensitive data is exposed, then block specific activities. Some applications support activity level controls. Example, Microsoft Teams prevent users from sending credit card numbers, personal information, confidential data. Then Slack's block messages containing sensitive content. This happens in real time, like Slack is a software. Approved client applications. Organization often allow access only through approved applications. Example, Outlook Mobile, Teams Mobile, OneDrive Mobile, third-party email applications. Unapproved apps. Why use approved apps? Approved apps support modern authentication, encryption, Intune protection, conditional access. Unapproved apps may not. Example, employee wants email access. Allowed. Outlook Mobile blocked random email application from App Store. Then MAM, like mobile application management, like Microsoft Intune provide this. MAM protects company data inside apps. Like we will configure this Microsoft Intune also with conditional access policies. Important difference between MDM and MAM. It manage entire device. It manage only apps. This MAM. Controls tablet phone, controls company data. Best for company owned device, great for personal devices. Then BYOD, bring your own device. Many employee uses personal phone. Example, iPhone, Android. Organization often don't want to manage the entire device. Instead, they protect only corporate applications. So MAM make this possible. Example of app protection policies: require PIN before opening Outlook and enter corporate PIN required every time. Restrict copy paste, like allow Outlook to Teams or block Outlook personal note apps. Then restrict saving, allow OneDrive for business or block personal Dropbox. Prevent screenshot. Certain apps can prevent screenshot for sensitive information, like managed versus unmanaged devices. Application controls work on managed devices, like company control devices enrolled in Intune. Example, corporate laptop, corporate phone. Unmanaged devices like personal devices not enrolled in management, like employee owned phones, home tablets. So both can still receive app protection policy. So with the help of MAM, both the devices will have this app we can say this app protection policies. Combining conditional access plus application controls. This is where Microsoft security become more powerful. Example, if user access SharePoint and devices unmanaged, then allow view only and block download. Example, like for the exam scenario, how can you allow employees to use personal phones while preventing company data being copied into personal applications? So here we use Intune app protection policies, MAM with conditional access. Benefits of application control, like security, protect sensitive company information, flexibility, support both personal devices and company-owned device, compliance, ensure documents are properly classified, monitoring, track risky user behavior, data protection, prevent unauthorized downloads and sharing. Then what is session management? After a user successfully signed in, Microsoft Entra creates a session for that user. A session is simply the period during which a user stays logged in and can access application without signing in again. Means if a user is accessing Azure portal, he is continuously using the portal, and so till he didn't sign out or close that application, that means there is a session going on for that user. So here, instead of asking password for every time, Microsoft keeps the user sign in using a session. So this is the real-time example. Like imagine entering a office building, security checks your iCard, gives you a visitor badge. As long as your badge is valid, you can move around the building. You don't need to show ID at every door. The visitor badge is similar to a login session. Why session management is important? Organizations sometimes need stricter security, like shared computers, public kiosks, executive accounts, sensitive business application, etc. In this situation, administrator may want users to sign in more frequently. Then user sign-in frequency, one of the most common session controls, sign-in frequency. This determines how often user must sign in again. Default behavior is 90 days. This means user aren't repeatedly asked for credentials, nothing suspicious happen. So all these things come under this session control. Here we can enable the sign-in frequency, and we have discussed like the default one is for 90 days. Then why not ask for passwords constantly? Many people assume more password prompts equal to more security. Not always, because if user becoming accustomed to entering password repeatedly, like he may can enter the password on the phishing websites, so it will break the like security. Or Microsoft therefore balances security and user experience. When session ends automatically, even if 90-day limit hasn't been reached, session can revoke immediately if password changes, device becomes non-compliant, user account is disabled, admin revoke the access. So here we can end the session by ourselves, or here the session end automatically. Then sign-in frequency policy. Administrator configures require sign-in every 1 hour. Like here, scenario 1, user sign-in, user is prompted again. At 10 a.m., user is prompted again because 1 hour has passed. Now second, user sign-in, lock laptop and leave. Returns and unlock laptop. The unlock count as a new authentication event. So the next prompt occur 1 hour after 9:45, or it will occur at 10:45. Then sign-in frequency and MFA. Previously, sign-in frequency mostly affected password authentication. Today, it can also affect MFA. Administrator can require users to perform MFA again after a specific period. Example, require MFA after 8 hours. So policy Microsoft may request MFA again. Then browser session persistent. Another session control is persistent browser session. Normally, user sign in, close browser, open browser later, still sign in. This is called a persistent session. So here, this is the persistent session. Means, let us assume a user is accessing the Azure portal and he's somewhere on like creating virtual machines. Now user by mistake closed the session. Then again he opened the session. So there will be a sign in again on the Azure portal. So you have probably sign in, like stay sign in, yes or no. If user select yes, Microsoft remember the session. If user selects no, the session expires sooner. So by default, Microsoft allows on personal devices to choose whether persist the session or not. Like we can do this thing by ourselves. We can create this thing. Then testing policies with the what if tool. Before enabling policies, administrator can test them using conditional access what if tool. So there is a what if tool. Like here we can test the policies with this what if tool. What is what if tool? If I close this one. So here this is the what if tool. Now the tool stimulates user, device, application, location and predicts what would happen. Example, administrator asks if John sign in into SharePoint and from home using Android, what policy applies? The what if tool shows the result before deployment. Means this what if tool will help us to test the impact of conditional access on a user or principal. So here, once we will configure it, it will provide us like which policy is working on this user and which policy is not working, which policy is impacting that user or devices, or which policy is not impacting. So best practice, Microsoft recommends use a test tenant or use test user before enabling policies for everyone. Then what is continuous access evaluation? This is one of the most important modern security feature. Traditional authentication problem, when a user sign in, Microsoft issues a token. that token is usually valid for 1 hour. So during that hour, that application trusts that user. Now this is the problem. Like in 10 a.m. user sign in, 10:05 account is disabled. So without continuous access evaluation, the application might continue trusting the user until the token expires. So this creates a delay. So this CAE solves this problem. Like continuous access evaluation creates an ongoing conversation between Microsoft Entra ID and the application. This allows access decisions to be updated almost immediately. Real life analogy: imagine a visitor badge in a secure building. Without CAE, security only checks your badge once every hour. So with CAE, security continuously monitor whether badge is valid, employee was terminated, access permissions change. The moment something changes, access is revoked. Then what is the benefit of CAE? Immediate user termination. Like employees leave company, administrator disable account, CAE can revoke access almost immediately. Then immediate password change enforcement, like user changes password, CAE quickly invalidates old sessions. Location policy enforcement example, policy allows access only from company network. User moves outside trusted network, CAE can enforce policy in near real time. Then token theft protection. Suppose attacker steals an access token, they move it to another computer using trusted network, CAE can detect policy violation and stop the access. Then CAE process simplified, like step 1, user sign in. Step 2, Microsoft Entra issues a token for that user. Step 3, user accesses application, like the token will get sent to that application and user can able to access the application. Step 4, administrator disable account or changes policy, means now administrator disable the account for the user. Then step 5, Microsoft sends revocation event, like Microsoft sends the revocation event. Then step C, application checks token status. Now application check the token status for that user, and my application verifies with the help of CA. It will verify, okay, this user the account is disabled. Then access denied immediately. So user must authenticate again. So this is the benefit of CAE. Then common session controls used in conditional access. So these are session control, and this is purpose. Like sign in frequency, why we use it? Force periodic reauthentication. Then persistent browser session, like control stay sign in behavior for that user. Then continuous access evaluation, never real time policy enforcement. Sorry. It's near real time policy enforcement, like this continuous access evaluation. Then token revocation, immediately invalidate active session. So these are, like, we can say, controls. Then what is the conditional access optimization agent? The conditional access optimization agent is a AI powered assistant in Microsoft Entra that helps administrators improve their conditional access policy. Think of it as a security advisor that continuously checks your conditional access configuration and suggests improvement based on Microsoft best practices and zero trust principles. So instead of manually reviewing dozens of policies, the agent automatically finds gaps and recommend fixes. Real life analogy: imagine you are responsible for security in a large office building. A security consultant walks through the building and says, this door should require a key card. The two security rules are identical. The old enter should be permanently closed. Some employees still don't have two-factor authentication enabled. So that's exactly what the conditional access optimization agent does for your Microsoft Entra environment. Why do we need it? As organizations grow, more users are added, more applications are deployed, more conditional access policies are created. So over time, like some users may not be protected, duplicate policies appear, legacy authentication remains enabled, security gaps develop. So the optimization agent automatically finds the issues and recommend fixes. Now, how the agent works? The agent continuously scan user, application, device, conditional access policy, then compare your environment against Microsoft security best practice, zero trust recommendation, modern authentication requirements. Key features: first, require MFA, one of the most important features. The agent identifies users who are not protected by MFA and recommend updating policies so they are covered. Example, current policy require MFA for administrators only. Problem: require employees are not protected. The agent recommends require MFA for all users or expand the existing governance. Then why MFA matters: even if attackers steal password, they still need the second authenticator app factor. This dramatically reduce account compromise risk. Then require device-based controls. The agent can recommend stronger device security. Example: device compliance only allow devices that mean security company security requirements. Example: encryption enabled, antivirus install, latest updates enable. Then app protection policy: protect company data inside application. Example: block copy, prevent saving to personal storage, require app pin. Then domain joined devices allow access only from Microsoft Entra joined devices or hybrid joined devices. These controls strengthen zero trust security. Example: current situation, anyone can access SharePoint from any laptop. Agent recommendation: require compliant device. So these agent, it will check the policies, provide recommendations. So it will make the work easy for us. Result: only approved devices can access company resources. Block legacy authentication: the agent look for accounts still using POP3 IMAP, etc. Why is legacy authentication dangerous? Legacy protocols often don't support MFA, frequently targeted by attackers. Common source of password spray attacks. Example: attacker attempts IMAP login using stolen password. Without protection, access may succeed. With block legacy authentication, access denied. The agent can identify and recommend blocking these protocols. Policy consolidation: many organizations accidentally create duplicate policies. Like example: policy A require MFA for SharePoint, policy B require MFA for SharePoint. So both perform same action. Then the agent will detect like these are the two policies. So the agent detects overlapping policies and recommend combined policy and B. Benefit: easier management, fewer mistake, cleaner configuration. Then block device code flow: the agent checks whether device code flow authentication is properly restricted. What is device code flow? Like a sign-in method commonly used by smart TV, Internet of Thing devices, common command line tools, limited input devices. Like a TV displays enter code ABC to and ask user to authenticate elsewhere. Why it can be risky? Attackers sometimes abuse device code flow during phishing attacks. The agent verifies whether policy exists to block or restrict it when necessary. Then one-click remediation. One of the most useful features: when the agent finds a problem, you don't need to manually edit policy. Instead, click apply suggestion. Means this agent will give us the option. Like you can simply apply or you can edit or delete the policies. The agent automatically update the policy. Like example: agent find user missing MFA. Then it will give the recommendation. Like administrator clicks apply suggestion, then policy updated automatically. Then requirement to use the optimization agent: like before using it, your organization must meet several requirements. Like Entra P1 license is required minimum. Then security compute units: your tenant must have available security compute units. These provides the processing resources used by security copilot and related AI capabilities. Then administrative permissions: for first activation, you need security administrator or higher privilege role. Intune licensing: device-based recommendation require Microsoft Intune license because device compliance and app protection policy rely on Intune. Because Intune is, we can say, it's a tool, Microsoft tool, which manages the devices. So the requirement of license for Intune is Intune license is also required. Zero trust alignment: the optimization agent follows Microsoft zero trust model. Like core principles include verify explicitly, means always verify user, device, application, and location. Then it use least privilege, like it only grant necessary access. Assume breach: like design security as through attackers may be present. So the agent recommend policies that aligns with these principles. Then typical workflow: like step 1, agent scans tenant. Step 2, find security gaps like missing MFA, legacy authentication enabled, duplicate policies. Then step 3, the agent will generate recommendations for the administrator. The administrator reviews suggestions and administrator can click on apply suggestion and policy automatically updated. Benefit: improved security, Then save, like protect user and application, then saves time, no need to manually review every policy. Simplify management, like it reduces policy complexity. So simplify management, like reduces policy okay. Support zero trust, like key policy aligned with Microsoft security recommendation. Continuous optimization, like keep improving security as users and application change, means it will help us, like it will provide lot of benefits, these agents. So now here, so now let me just create a policy. Okay, how we can create a policy? We have already discussed all the features. So this way we can create the policy. So first I have to disable this security defaults. So yeah, here let me select any option. Now first, I told you before, whenever we create conditional access policy, we have to disable the security default. So here, let me type it here, uh, block access. So this way we can create the policy, and let me see. Uh, so for this user test user, I have the password. So I will apply this policy on this user. So this is like block test, and here let me use the select the user. So currently I'm selecting the user, uh, test here. Then target resources. So here I am selecting all cloud apps. Means the policy will work on all cloud apps. Network. I'm not configuring it. Conditions. So let us assume the user sign-in risk is high. Sorry, user risk is high plus sign-in risk is also very high. Now what I'm doing, I'm instead of assigning, here we have already discussed all the options. So like if the user risk is high, everything is sign-in risk is high, I will do the block access to this user. Then session control, let me see. Okay, so let me leave it as it is. So how we can enable the policy? I can click on and create. So this way we can create the conditional access policy. And let me tell you, like we don't initiate maximum controls in one policy. Instead of that, we create multiple policies. For like MFA, we create one policy. For user signing from different countries or unauthorized locations, we create a different policy. Like if a user is signing from outside our office location, then he requires the MFA. So one policy will be created. If user is login from suspicious location, then block access. Then second policy is created. So in this way, we created number of policies. So here, if I go to overview, so here this is like all policies. I can check the. So here this is the policy it is created. Now let me sign into portal.azure.com and let me use this user test. Then let me type the password. So it might. So let me do the MFA. 78. Actually, might be this policy. It didn't work. Or might be there is some issue. Let me recheck. Policies. Block access. Okay, test fine. conditions. I have selected two conditions for this policy. Block access. Yeah, it's okay. Let me recheck. Okay, let me redo again. Might be okay. I understand. Let me just. So actually, currently I'm using the same phone and same location. So let me just recheck. So now actually the policy is working. Why? Because here I have selected the conditions on this policy. Means if the risk is high on this user, or if the user risk is high, or if this sign in risk is high, then it will block the access to this user. But currently the sign in risk and login user risk is not high because I am using the same phone on which I did the authenticator in same machine. So what I will do, let me block this thing just for testing purpose. And so currently it's allowing me to access the Azure portal. So I go to portal, then use this test. Means currently I didn't created any conditions. So earlier I had created the conditions like if there is sign in risk or user risk, then it will block the access. But this policy, it is checking everything, all the user activity. Like there was no sign in risk, no sign security risk, so it is allowing the user to access the application. So this way we create the policies, and we have created this policy. Now what if? So let me just select here cloud apps. So first let me just select the user, edit user. So let me just select this test. Yeah, this one. And cloud apps, device platform. I'm using Windows. So client app. Okay, leave it as it is. Browser. Then property. Okay. So here means it will test the impact of conditional access on a user. Or service principle means, but if option we this is like the tool under conditional access, it will test the impact of the conditional access policy on a particular user or device. So we can check the impact of the conditional access. So here we will select the user, and we will select the application. Okay, here is required authentication context is required. Okay, none. Okay, so for cloud apps, we have to also configure this. Yeah, we can best. Let me select here user actions. So means here, so in simple meaning, like under what if, we can check the impact of conditional access. And currently, like I don't have that users and I didn't configure the authentication flow. That is why we can't able to see it. Once we will configure the conditional access policy, then under what if condition, we can check the impact of that conditional policy. So that's all for today. In the next video, I will cover this module, that is manage Microsoft Entra ID, identity protection. Thank you and have a wonderful day.